Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Tiabu and I am here on Tuesday, as has been tradition, for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We're on part 6, episode 9. I'm sure that there's a joke somewhere in the part 6, episode 9 space, but I don't know what the joke is, so I don't know. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Happy JoJo's Day, everybody. I'm glad to have you. Last time on JoJo's, we had a pretty fun episode where we met Foo Fighters, a colony organism with a stand that is a stand. I'm a little bit confused on that point. Just not entirely sure of them. Really exciting and very cool. And I'm very excited to see where we go from there because it's so nutty as an idea that now we have this non-human creature thing that's just a member of our squad and is going to have to try to be a human now and pretend to be normal while being around like prison guards and stuff. And that sounds like the starting point for a whole bunch of comedy and drama and interesting tense situations. So I'm super duper excited for that. And yeah, it just seems super duper interesting. Cool. Okay, last time when we did this, I forgot to do a thing. I was gonna try to do the comment talk things at the beginning of every freaking episode, and I forgot because I'm an idiot. So let's go through and do some of those. Vitor Caesar writes, the title was a reference for They Were 11 that you watched in Overdrive. That is correct. Also, Code Monkey says, 16 Niru with significantly less Frolberry Cherry. For those who don't know, 11 Niru is an older movie, and it's about a bunch of people who get sent to a space station as part of like a test to become superstar pilots, whatever. And there's supposed to be 10 of them in the test, and then there's another one, and we don't know who's the weird one. So yeah, I did catch on to that being like a reference. I didn't realize that it was a direct reference in the title because of the way the title got translated. I just didn't realize that it was like exactly 1682, like exactly the same thing. But it is, and that's super cool. Hiroshige-san mentions Araki's love for horror films. It's everywhere in this episode. Also, there's 6 of us situation, which reminds this individual of ghost stories where you go into some location and end up coming out with someone extra. It's much creepier than finding less people with you, which leads to the relatively simple conclusion. Instead, when you find more people, it triggers confusion, suspicion, and terror. Yeah, 100%. It also reminds me of, there's a creepypasta with like a Wendigo, where like it starts appearing amongst the squad of people who go camping as like one of them and doing creepy things. That sort of vibe is very cool, and it's this whole section of creepy stuff that, as you say, leads to confusion instead of simple conclusions, and I think that's very cool. And let me see, I think there was one more and then a last one that I wanted to get to. Oh, right. Guanglai Kangi, who has been on this channel for a long time and is a wonderful reference to the Morio, the bad translation, the Duang scans. But Guanglai Kangi says at 5020 in the episode 7, I love how you predicted everything about FF's identity here, but in the end you call it too convoluted. And Jolene Cujo's friend responds with, same, Tiabu is so good at analysis, but he dismisses his theories half the time. He did that in his Ava Watch 2, I think. Well, to be fair, in the Ava Watch, I had some spoilers in the back of my brain, so I knew there were some things that I knew, but I didn't know all of them. So I was like led to those conclusions in a way. For JoJo's, I'll be real, I have no idea what's going to happen. Zero clue what Araki's going to pull next, but I'm in the maybe enviable position of being able to throw out whatever thoughts and ideas I want, and if they stick, I could call credit for it and be like, yeah, I knew what Araki was doing. I totally got this. But I don't. And so I'm just in the position where I can throw out all my ideas and there's no repercussion for doing so, so I might as well throw out whatever ideas I have. And then sometimes they'll land, and that's pretty neat, but I can't really take credit for it because I would have to, like, commit to the bit. I'd have to be like, no, I know what Foo Fighters is, it's this. And then if I got it right, then maybe that would be cool. But I'm not going to do that because I think I'm wrong. So, no chance. But yeah, still cool that I managed to get it anyway. And there were multiple conversations, multiple discussions in the comments around the distinction between crocodiles and alligators. But the term wani is a general term that covers both. So really there's no distinction, and it's actually more on the fault of the translators for translating it one way or another than otherwise. But the fact is, It's in Florida, and they got both, so who cares? Even if we do look at the snoot of the thing and we can realize which one it is, it doesn't really matter. It's a big reptilian creature that will gnaw your face off. I don't feel like getting really deep into the differences between these two different big reptilian creatures that will gnaw your face off is a huge difference, right? I think of it as like if I were a dungeon master, which I am, and I were putting a creature in front of you, would it matter much if it were a crocodile or an alligator? No, the stat block would be the same. It would be the same stat block with the same armor class and the same amount of teeth and the same amount of damage, and it would hurt you real bad, and you'd have a bad time fighting it. But would it matter? Nah, not really. So that's cool. Yeah, good. Okay, and then we've got a heavy hitter duo of comments in here from Connor CT. Starting off with Connor CT writes, "I can't stop looking at that ship in the background. I don't know if you've mentioned it in another video, but it would be cool to get a closer look." Sure, I will do that for you. I have mentioned it in some other videos, but I will still pick it up and give you a closer look first. These came in more recently, but these are little rowboats. You can see that they've got battle grids on them, so they've got a grid pattern, and they're laser etched and laser cut wood, so they're nice and smooth. But they're just thin wood. I don't think it's balsa. I think it's pine. I think it's pine. Thin, simple wood. The rowboats, these like side or like life raft boats, were super cheap. These were like $6, I think. These are all from CZYY off of Amazon. But I got these for like landing missions and for like boarding other boats and stuff like that. And then there's the big boat itself. And it is a 3-tiered little galleon. If this were a real boat, it would have a full keel down here, which you could see, and it's got space on it for it's like drawn in with 3 masts, one main mast here, and 2 smaller masts here and here. So that's where those are, and you can imagine that this ship would be like yay tall. It would be pretty fucking big with sails back here and sails back here, out to the tip of the prow, and that's really cool. It's got little stairs and everything, and so this all came flat packed, and I put it together. It's got these pieces hold the pieces in together. And the stairs hold everything together, and it's all marked up with battle grids and stairs and stuff, so you can move your characters around the thing and make things happen. I'm considering that this boat has a couple of main guns here and a couple of swivel guns, 2 on the back and 2 on the front, and that's what my pirates are going to be running around on. When I introduce this to them, I'll tell the story in a second. So I introduced that to them in our first campaign session. I didn't expect to. I also had, one sec. This was the first thing that I got. This is a Pathfinder decks of a big ass pirate ship, with all sorts of stuff on it, and it's hard to see because it's kind of shiny. But if I angle it like this, you can see it. See, it's got like hammocks in here, and it's got the staircases and stuff, and like some ballistae and a bunch of barrels and things. And it's got the whole boat really laid out here. So I started out. This was like $10. I brought this out at first, and it was like, "Guys, this is your boat. This is yay, woo, yay, woohoo. This is the boat that you guys are on." We've got one character who's like a kind of a quartermaster character, and we've got one character who's playing the gunner. So we've got Scurvy Knuckles, who is a brawler quartermaster. He's a tavern brawler barbarian. Good stuff. We've got Cranft Cranberry Rungful, who is the coxswain, or cozen. I think it's cozen. Yes. He is the guy who walks up and down if there are rowers and whips them. He likes whips, and he uses 2 of them. He is a rogue fighter multiclass with dual wielder to dual wield 2 whips, and he's silly. He's going to be going battle master, and I think he's going scout rogue. Interesting. And then we've got our gunner, Hammerhead, who's my favorite of the trio of characters because he's insane. This is a man who has, over the last few years, replaced any of his teeth that fall out, which happens relatively frequently. Just replaced him with lead, like, chunks of musket ball that he shoves in there. So he's got this, like, but he's also fully lead poisoning himself continuously, which is not good for you at all. And it explains a little bit of his Insanity. But yeah, Hammerhead is the gunner. So these three, I got them going with all this idea and had them do some stuff. And I put in front of them the option, because I'm running this as a very sandboxy campaign. Like, I have no idea what's going to go next. I'm just going to hard improv everything. Don't tell my players. Everything's planned, guys. I promise. But I'd written out a couple of different like role sets, tables for random encounters and things, and for random weather and things, and random situations and things, as well as a couple of options for them once they got sort of established and met some of their characters and their crew and their cast and all the people. I would have them come into the captain's quarters and demonstrate to them, like, their captain is this older character who they essentially can sway by convincing him to go and do certain things. So he's essentially, like, he's an NPC that I'm running, but he's an NPC that they get to choose what the captain really wants them to do. So it's not like I tell them the captain is going, all right, boys, we're off to find some plunder, right? No. They're like, well, what do you want to do? We could go out and search for a prize. We could go seek out some treasure. I've got a couple of treasure maps. We'd go out and hunt the seas and see what's out there. All sorts of different, like, options for them to do. And they decided they wanted to go find another boat. So I rolled for the type of boat, and I got a sailing ship, which is what this is. And I rolled for, like, the nature of the boat. I rolled for, like, they were gonna go seek some stuff, and I rolled on a random table, and I rolled the one, it was like 8, 9, and 10 on a D10 is another boat, a prize, like something that they could maybe assault and take. And I rolled the thing for that, and I rolled the thing for a sailing ship. So this boat fucking floats in, episode 1, fucking session 1, and I go back upstairs and I grab it and I bring it downstairs, and I'm like, you guys are swimming around, you're looking around some trading routes, looking for boats to find, and you find a boat. You start coming up on it, and it's a nice boat. It's a little bit slower than yours, but it's a little bit taller than yours, and it's this. And I put it out there on the table in the position where the, like, dragon ship is, and I have them, like, board it and get on board and fight off the soldiers who are on board, who are merchant marines, essentially, of the Everlasting Empire, essentially a British colonizer empire analog that is in my world. And they took over the boat and discovered that there were a bunch of owned populations, we might say, some weird gray-green skinned creatures with tusks that they've never seen before, that are all in the bottom brig of the ship and not very happy. So I don't know what they're going to do about that, but immediately throwing them into a new boat, which they very much want, and a moral conundrum as they find out that the Everlasting Empire, which is nominally against slavery, is in fact enslaving peoples, which is a problem. So we'll see how all that goes. Anyway, all of this from Connor CT asking to look at that ship in the background. Sorry, I went on a tangent. I talk for a living. It's what I do, and so I end up talking too much. Sorry, hope you've enjoyed. There you go. And I do have one last comment that I want to talk about, which is also from Connor CT. Thanks, Connor, for dropping 2 cool comments. But this one's nice. I want to go through this one. So Connor CT writes, I'm glad Part 6 feels just as special as your Part 5 videos, with that first episode bamboozle, and the dope intro you made, plus how much you're enjoying it, smiley face. JoJo holds a special place in my heart, of course, but happens to be one of my favorite reactions discussions from you. Feels great getting that JoJo's dose and reading all the fun comments. And this comment has a bunch of likes, and I appreciate that so very much, Connor. I'm glad that you feel that it's special too. I want to make it special. I'm really enjoying JoJo's. Its months have been really rough for me. There's been a lot of sickness and a couple of, like, COVID scares and some things that have been really limiting. And for the first time for me, because I'm in the unique situation of, like, working on my own and being essentially independently funded. Obviously, I'm funded by you guys, which is awesome. And if you want to get on that, you can head over to the Patreon and do that. Shill. But I'm funded by you guys, so I don't have the situation of, like, oh, I was working in an office and now I can't. That's never been a real problem for me. So this has been the first time where the pandemic and the quarantine has really hit me hard, and it really has hit me hard. My schedule has been really fucked up for the last couple of months, and I'm trying to get back to it. like psychologically trying to get back to it. And I'll be as open and honest about that as I can be. I've made some mistakes in the last few months, and I'm trying to get back to a place of feeling, I don't know, in tune with the world in a way, and get back to that like passion and joy for this work and this play that I get to do every day when I record these things that I have been missing and been lacking a little bit. So thank you so much for your support, and thank you so much for writing something so nice, Connor. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you continue to enjoy the content as we go forward. And I hope that, honestly, I hope that the content will continue to get better as we go forward, because that would be ideal. That would be really great. Cool. That's I think that's all I wanted to talk about here in the comments, which is, to be fair, a lot. We talked about a lot. Let's watch some JoJo's, right? Like, that's what we're here for. Okay, cool. I've got JoJo's at part 6, episode 9. No joke there, none. Up and ready to go. It is sitting at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you want to do a syncy thing and sync up your own copy with the timer-based version, you are welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready, because the beep-beep timer to count you down will be coming at you right now. Let's get into it. Damn, 20 minutes of discussion. Fuck. Okay, let's get into it. Cool. And we're in it. A Fletniks animated series. Oh, we're in church. Take me to church. Who's this? That's a lot of fruit. He's eating cherries? That's like got a callback to it. Oh no. Studies, eh? Hi, Poochie. I don't think you can teach dogs how to utilize fire, but okay. Self-restraint? Faith? My guy, why are you just sucking on those cherries? Without taking the pit? What? I guess a canine? Yeah, she's still on that, right? He's on this other level. And he's getting pissed about it too. If is he gonna like I was about to say, is he gonna like convert her or something? What the fuck? He likes evil, which we knew. Okay, but it can be channeled and used. Schwing. Yo, posin'. What did you give her? What did you put in that little head? What did you put in there, Poochie? Poochie, what did you do? Bad doggy. Oh shit, his name is Poochie. I might end up calling him Puppy. Puppers? Something sufficiently diminutive, right? You know, make fun of the bad guy so he doesn't feel as bad. It's like making fun of horror movies to make it feel like not as scary. Which is something that I always do. I wish that the sound of this OP was a little more full. I don't know. I don't think it's my... Yeah, to an extent it's my settings. Don't stop beating. Wait, is it... No. I had these on closed back. Oh, hi. Debt collector Marilyn Manson? Hiding what? Oh, the disc. Yeah, no, it's not. Oh boy. It is. Sure. Sure. Fair enough. Yeah, of course. Okay. Hey, that's a character design. Yeah, she gets a little worked up about liquids. Gonna fucking kill you, dude. Yeah. It's about to be off. Fuck! Don't do it, Foo Fighters! Oh, shit. Oh, no! Oh, God! Oh! Mine! Still gonna. It's a lot of that. Yeah. Foo Fighters, no. Yeah, what is that? What is this? Hiya, otto. Oh, weird. Okay, why are we just leaving this here? Oh, getting better. Ha! Eh, Better's not difficult. Oh no, do not take that bet. Debt collector. Reminds me of the locks. 789. Intense. Right, she's a thief. I'll take anything. A vibrator, okay. Valuable, valuable. Now, fuck you. I refuse. Money is useful. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I suspect that this is Whitesnake's trap. Got it. But you don't know her no more, dude. We need the money. We need the money. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's go. No, no fucking with us. No messing with us. These slides are weird. Okay, we've set up some rules. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Actually, it reminds me more of the ding-a-ling in Money by Pink Floyd. What's Of course, that's the issue. FF, catch the ball. Okay, we did it. Other than it. Didn't you? You haven't had it all yet? Hiya! Nice catchy. Nice catchy. Oh. Yeah, FF, what the fuck? Such pressure. 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 You wanna bet? Okay, what's the catch? What? Oh. I wouldn't push your luck, dude, but okay. Uh-oh. Wait, we don't have that money. We don't have it. We can't match that bet. Like... What do you want, though? Yeah, good, Jolene. Good choice. I love that. I fucking hate you. No. Guto. Don't do it, Hermes. She just wants to figure it out, huh? Mint gum. Why'd we put so much emphasis on that gum? Got the throw in. But will it be? Is that mid-roll? No. Are we gonna run out of time? With the... Love the eye things. Looks like a Kiss member again. Fuck. Shit. Fuck. We gotta go against the fucking... Jesus. These guards are so insane. Bet's not off. Bet's still on. You made the bet. You'll persuade me to end the game. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The little hair things are so insane. Ah. Hey. Oh. Throw the ball! Throw the ball! Fuck! Catch it with your bare fucking hands, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Make another hand. To the gum. There you go. Split. Pow. Boom. What? Oh, knock it back together. That's insane. Hermes. Indeed. Holy shit. Doesn't care. Better throw it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I think she just cheated. And that's going to do something. Oh. If you cheat, Marilyn Manson's here. What? Ding-a-ling. Yeah. Ah. Ah. What? Ah. Oh, no. Oh! Not enough money, so we're taking organs. Give me those parts. Okay, that's mid-roll. I was scared that was end. Holy shit, you stole my liver. I think that's a liver. Yep. That'll be worth enough. Hey, I need that. You could have a kidney. FF. Nothing. Fuck, that's so absurd. That wasn't a rule, though. But she thinks it was a rule. The disc. The bet's not over. Good thought. My life? Bye. Bye. Okay. Just let me die. Yeah, this is some bullshit. 100%. That is what's going on. It's the most valuable thing in your possession. What a perfect stand. I have to save you. Ah. You did this for me, so I'll do it for you. We've only got like 2 minutes. Yeah, it's like an inevitable. Oh, let's just beat the shit out of the chick. It always works. Hey. Hey, Mirashan. Let's fucking go. Shower beat down. Oh, we're still catching. Still got to do it. Wow. Ah! The lights. Strings. Just clap. Just clap. Just grab. Oh. Oh. Oh, FF. Oh, good job. Oh. Oh. Ah. Oh. All darkness. Strings. Running out of time. No. Uh-huh. Blam blam. Got her. Yup. Uh-huh. That's a good question. Is that time? Oh, we're still playing catch. We still have to be 3 meters away. God, that's so bad. Ramping tension, ramping tension. Hi! Keep throwing the ball. Keep throwing the ball. Wham wham, bam bam, bam bam. Don't wait. Nope. There we go. Yeah, give us the info too. Is that milk? Oh, I didn't realize her hair does that. Rocky, what the fuck? She doesn't remember. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. But it'll lead us to Poochie. Huh? Hey? Indiana Jones it, dude! Fuck! No! Ah! Punch her a lot! Punch her a lot! Punch her a bunch! Foo Fighters, go goopy! What are you gonna... Oh! Foo Fighters, let's go! No! Ooh! You can't get back! Punch her! Beat the shit out of her! I don't know! Oh, she's running! Oh, sick! They're gonna meet at the next floor! Ding! Hey! Passu! Otto? Atta. You fucker. Punch her in the face! Uh-huh. Do you not feel like you've cheated? Do you not feel like you've cheated there? Gonna collect the disc regardless. No? The disc. Of course. How? Tell me we're not gonna cliffhang. Please. No. She rethreaded it. Hui! Thwip! Wow! Absurd. Bagana. Masaka. No, you. Oh, bing! Well, thank you, Marilyn Manson, for giving us back all our organs. It does indeed. Your own stand's rules have... You're gonna throw them at her face. Oh no. Amazing! Oh, yeah, ding-a-ling, motherfucker. Ooh, money. Mm. Ugh. Huh. What a great episode. Reminiscent of like the Derby episodes where we've got games going on along with stands that have like a real serious repercussion or consequence for losing the simple game. It's so Araki, man. This feels classic. This feels classic and I like it a lot. Wow. The outplays, the mind games. It's fucking awesome. Bunch of time. Oh, it's all translators. Right. Cool. Pow. Let me just make sure that everything left is just translator credits. Yep. Okie dokie. Wonderful. I really like this episode, and I really like this enemy stand user and the stand. It's very fun. Everything from we get Poochie set up, which is crazy, and we'll talk about it, and we'll think about it, you know? to the initialization of this game, to the character's design. I really like Miraschon's design. I didn't even realize that she's got one hair loopy that goes like fully under her chin, along with the ones that go down here. I noticed these that go down here and are like marked across her face, which are a really cool design element on their own. They're like a weird mask almost, and then the one loopy on the bottom. Really weird, crazy design. I like it a lot, honestly. And there's also like a mirroring to Jolene with the open midriff thing and the like weird flared stuff. Certainly some like stuff that is definitely what Araki's going for in various characters, but I really like the character's design. FF continues to grow on me all the way through. The ridiculousness with the initial "you touched my water" and then like causing some problems, almost causing somebody's cheeks to explode was brutal, but very cool, into the actual baseball game itself, and the feeling of taking something so simple as playing a game of catch, and more than that, playing a game of like keep it off the ground or like avoid failing, avoid dropping the ball, and turning it into a high stakes gambling match where the stakes are your organs and lives, and also stand disc, which might be worse, is amazing. And just the way that we ramp that tension all the way throughout the episode and get it more and more scary as our characters realize the level of stakes that they're actually playing for, and then the massive outplays that occur to enable them to win in those high stakes matches is so much fun. It's so much freaking fun. All right, let's talk about Poochie. Let's talk about our pupper over here. Okay, first off, the almost still life vibe of his area is weird. Like these shots of the cherries and the stained glass and the candles are all like surreal. They're all not right. They're all still lifes, right? It's all an area that I almost imagine that we were not panning down from a real bowl of cherries, but instead a painting of a bowl of cherries on his wall, right? It feels wrong. It feels weird. And this whole location and situation feels wrong and weird. Also, she doesn't have the hair the same way right now. It's strange. But anyway, he's like simultaneously not paying attention to her, and we see him get miffed. We see him get like not angry, but like, how do I put it? Like frustrated with the way that she's expressing herself. He keeps trying to tell her things, and she keeps being like, "Yeah, but my parole." And it's like again that evil that he was talking about with McQueen, where McQueen's lack of realization of his own evil is one of the things that Poochie preys on. Like, it's weird because this character comes in and is like, yeah, I mean, I stole some stuff and I'm going to keep doing that, but do you think you could get me out, dude? And he can't fix her. He can't fix the theft problem, and he doesn't want to. He wants to utilize it. It's so strange. It's such a strange dynamic that he creates between himself and his characters. It's so manipulative. In a really interesting way, but his complete disregard for her and focus on the cherries over her is really cool characterization. It's also an immediate callback to use of weird cherries for weird things that JoJo has done before, that Araki has done before. Hey, got it. And he's focused on that the whole time. It's not tying cherries together, but instead biting all of the fruit off of two cherries without removing the pits from the stem. It's like a weird game that he set out for himself for no reason. It's interesting, and it's weird. And he makes a bunch of poses and a bunch of angles and a bunch of ideas and asks weird questions, which Chithi use, and she's just like, sure, dude, whatever. So my parole? Well, I think I could help you. And of course she's like, yay, happy, smash. I don't know if he needs necessarily to smash people's faces into tables in order to discify them, but so be it. And then he does this with the cross. He puts the cross up to her, but I cannot deny this talent, and so, pose, you will prove useful to me. Zip, zap, zop, have a disc, have a goal, and off you go to be the bad guy. Cool. So this sets up what Poochie's going to be doing, I think, for the near future. Now, obviously, in the far future, we'll probably end up realizing who Poochie is and starting to chase him down and fight him and his more direct minions and stuff. But at the moment, he's just a puppet master. He's just in the background doing something that we're not sure what it is, but he's sending stand users against us directly, intentionally, to fuck with us. And that's cool. That makes him a cool villain. We get to defeat the stand users that he throws against us. We get closer to figuring out who he is and what's really going on, but not close enough to actually do anything about it for now. Keeps this like walled off separation between the bad guys and the good guys. That's quite interesting. Okay, and we move in and have ourselves a cool conversation about all this stuff. Yay, let's play catchball. What should we do? It's the safest place. We'll leave the disc with that. I also like this moment a little bit. First off, the physicality between our characters is cool. It reminds me in a weird way of like Okuyasu like running up to Jotaro and like throwing his arm around him. That same sort of camaraderie is physically expressed to us by the way that these characters get close to each other and touch each other. But it's also the idea that Hermes is thinking about Jolyne's safety and Jolyne's disc's safety and the mission. Right? She's not thinking about herself, she's thinking about the squad and the team. And it's a distinction that we didn't have before they went to the swamps, right? Because they really didn't know each other before then, obviously. But immediately it's there, and now we're thinking squad-wise instead of individual-wise, and that creates a different feeling, and that creates a feeling of that camaraderie between our characters and that goal-oriented, like, group thing, which is really cool. So this motherfucker, with the weird... it's like a mink thing. I don't even know. Makes a big mistake and sips on somebody else's drink. You shouldn't sip somebody else's scissor, man. Shouldn't do it. This is very good and silly. The idea that FF is not a person and does not know how to throw balls is perfectly sensible. And then we meet Mirasan, and she's great. I'll make you a bet. How about that? And Hermes is the one who convinces us that we should. Jolyne is initially reticent to do this, but Hermes says that she's known this Mirasan, she's just a petty thief, and it's all just easy peasy, no problem, let's do it, and so we do. The bet will be off if blah 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 happens, let's go. And it gets crazy and panicky, and the tension ramps up, and then we do our bet again, and it gets crazier as hell. The guard coming in and telling them to stop is the great first step of this becoming scarier. I don't really get the whole meteorite thing, but the idea that you'd blame it on something like that for reasons, and the fact that we have to pay him off in order to make more money, oh boy. But after almost dropping the ball, Hermes uses her sticky gum powers in order to bring it back, and Mirasan's stand triggers. Hermes thinks that she has cheated, and therefore she has cheated, so the stand pops into existence. I like the stand idea a lot. Visually, some elements like the readout reminds me a little bit of Moody Blues, just a little bit, but not really. Then the idea of an unstoppable debt collecting stand that triggers when you know you've screwed up is amazing. It reminds me, in a way, it's like it's multiple things all linked together. The setup and the style of everything reminds me of the Darbies for obvious reasons, right? We're playing a game and there are stakes to it. But the way that this is an autonomous stand that appears and just goes after you after you've once you've like triggered some condition reminds me of, I think it's Black Sabbath. Yeah. It's Black Sabbath. The stand that comes after you after the lighter goes out, right? Or after you relight the lighter, even better. That's cool. It's reminiscent of those, but in a completely different way, and it's terrifying. It's this like unstoppable force that inevitably comes after you if you do something horribly wrong. In a way, it reminds me, and let me take a break for a sec. My throat is getting weird. I need to drink some stuff. Okay, we've already talked about D&D and stuff, so I'll just talk about it a little bit more. Sorry. But we talked about it with the boat and things. There are these creatures, these constructs called inevitables in Dungeons and Dragons universe. And if you fuck with serious stuff, if you make some serious mistakes, yeah, there are a couple of different types of inevitables. And they are the enforcers of universal laws, and they will pursue their objective at any cost. They're generally considered like pretty close to unstoppable, indestructible, and like completely bonkers in terms of their statistics and what they will do to you in game. Essentially, their main attack auto hits and auto deals a certain amount of damage. It's like 60 damage auto dealt twice every round. And then they've got like 600 hit points. They're unstoppable monstrosities. But the idea of them is that there are a couple of different kinds. There are Zelikuts, which are trackers who hunt down those who flee to avoid punishment. So like if you're a soul who's destined for punishment in the afterlife and you manage to make some crazy deal and get yourself out of that punishment, but you deserve that punishment, maybe a Zelikut will be dispatched to find you, and it will just appear next to you because these are interplanar beings from Mechanus, the plane of law, and they will just appear next to you and be like, you're coming with me or else, and then you will come with them. And it's inevitable. There's not much you can do about it. They'll just murder you and then bring your soul back if they want to. There are Kolya roots. They represent the ineluctability. Fucking whack word. Ineluctability. Ineluctability. Of agreements. They hunt Oathbreakers, which is pretty cool. And then there are Maruts, which hunt the people who extend their lifespan unnaturally. They are the inevitability of death, and they hunt you down. The inevitability of, like, breaking a contract here, and the way that Marilyn Manson, the debt collector, appears and is just like, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, you've made a debt and I will collect it, is very much like that to me, and I like the idea a lot. This unstoppable force that will just come after you if you've made a thing. And the straight brutality of it, the lack of any hesitation, and just like, wham, bam, I've got your liver now, and also your titty money. That's right, the titty money is free, we knew it was there. Marilyn Manson will always collect the debt, no matter where you hide it or whether you know it's there. And Araki Donut's another character with a sunburst behind him because, yeah, why not, man? It's worked before, might as well work again. Super rad. And of course, we shoot some stuff at it and nothing happens. I love how it's got its own voice, and the idea that it's a shadow of her conscience, like Maraschino or whatever her name is, doesn't even care, right? Like, is not doing this actively. It's Hermes' own understanding that she cheated that causes the thing to click in and cause the problems. It's so neat. It's such a cool idea. Excuse me. And then we move into the real high tension, right? Running through the wards of the prison, still throwing the ball back and forth, still keeping to their rules, while getting fucked with. The lights go out. Foo Fighters uses some crazy techniques to make it work. Insane stuff. Crazy color swaps. Insane scenes. Running around. Jumping around. Running around. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get it. No, she pulled another trick on us with the elevator, but we pulled another trick on her, and then she pulled a triple trick on us with the guard, and I didn't know how we would get out of it, but of course Jolene comes up with a cool way and manages to do it by unstringing and restringing the ball, and then using the ball as the fist that she pummels her with, and an explosion of pinata currency leads us to our conclusion. Fuck yeah! That's so sick. I love the gamification element of it. I love the idea that it's your conscience. I like the idea that it's this inevitable thing that comes after you, regardless of what you do to stop it. That's all really cool to me. This is a super cool JoJo's episode, a super cool enemy stand idea, and a really, really cool way of expressing all of that to us, along with a little safe sprinkling of Poochie goodness that I don't know what we're going to find out more about Poochie, but he seems real freaky crazy. I might come up with some ideas about who he is moving forward, but it doesn't feel like we've got enough right now to really make any inferences, so I'm just going to leave him be, and we will find out more about him when Araki decides to have us find out more about him. Hell yeah. Okay, lovely episode of JoJo's. Thanks for joining me for this. This has been super fun to watch. I hope you've had a good time watching it. Again, as usual, if you'd like to support the channel and what I do and these videos, and so I can make more of them, you can head over to the Patreon. That will also be a way for you to get early access to next week's episode, which will be up at the same time that this one goes live on YouTube, so check that out if you'd like to. And on that note, I will see you next week for more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. No real setup in this one for what's going to be happening next, so we're just left with no real implication for what's going to be happening next. Cool. I love it. Okay, JoJo's is cool as hell. We're going to stop there. I'll see you next time for more part 6. Thanks for watching. Peace.